So the day of install can be hectic. You have installers all over your house. Windows are going in. At the end of the day, when you go through your checklist with the installers, they will go over maintenance and upkeep and warranties on your windows. But because of the stress, a lot of customers can forget how to simply clean their windows or how to operate their windows so they can clean them. So we get this phone call every once in a while. So just as a reminder, on your double hung windows, there are tilt-in top and bottoms. You're gonna want to unlock your window. You're gonna wanna raise it up 4 or 5 inches. You have tilt pins on the top corners of the sash. You're gonna tilt those to the middle, and you're gonna lower your window to clean the outside, okay? When you clean the outside, you wanna keep the sash at an angle, either below or less than 90 degrees, or you wanna lay it all the way down past 90 degrees. You never want it at a 45-degree angle. At a 45-degree angle, the feet on the corners, the little pins that hold your windows to the balances will actually pop out. So you want to either, again, lesser than 90, greater than 90. You would lower the top sash, tilt pins, you lower that in, you can lay that all the way down to clean. Again, same thing applies. You don't want it at a perfect 90 degree. Okay? And to close the windows, push them in. Don't worry about being gentle. You want to push them in, close them, and lock them. Okay, this is how you clean your windows. Now, with that being said, we get a lot of phone calls from people that say, I can't get my windows locked anymore. There's usually 2 reasons that they're having an issue with locking their windows. A, there's an integrated meeting rail. I got an example of it right here on some of our windows. That means there's a channel, if you can see it in the camera, on your bottom sash and your top sash, and when they come together, they cross over, creates a nice tight air filtration insulating barrier to lock your window. Okay, what happens a lot of the times is when you open the window and you go to lower it, you apply pressure or funny pressure on the bottom sash. What happens is that meeting rail will actually not interlock, it'll clack, and it'll lower the top sash. So when you go down, your locks, your keepers and your locks aren't lining up, and then people call in a panic because they can't get their windows locked. They just spin and spin and spin. This is a real simple solution. If that happens, all you have to do is make sure that you push up on your window nice and tight and you lock it as such. Okay, that's the simplest solution. When you're cleaning your windows, if you've tilted your windows in, again, it's super important that you raise the window up at least 3 or 4 inches before you tilt the window in, because if you don't, part of the frame here is going to kick those pins up out of the balances, okay? And then the window sash is going to do this. It's going to get real wobbly and it's going to pop up, and then customers, or it might even come all the way out. It's meant to do that, okay? If that happens, customers panic and they don't know exactly how to get it back in, and then everything is wonky like that. So when they go to shut it, it's off of alignment. So when they close it, what's happened is one of these balances has actually popped and gone up into the midsection of the window frame. And so the window seems to be real loose and the locks aren't lining up, okay? For the DIYer at home, this is when you would call, the typical homeowner calls and says they're having issues with the windows, but I'm going to show you real quick how you can actually solve this problem without having to call and wait for a service guy. All right, so if the sash at 90 degrees pops out, or you don't open the window far enough and that pops out and one of these goes up, simple thing to do is grab a screwdriver. There is a little set screw in here, or it's a little round grommet. The opening in that round grommet needs to be straight up, okay? I'm going to try to demo this. You can put a screwdriver in, and when you turn that grommet, you put a little pressure, but see, that wants to slide all the way up, and that's where it gets stuck. So now you don't have your balance on one side of the window or the other to put the window in. To fix that, all you have to do is get the flathead screwdriver, put it in that little grommet, turn it so that it's up, slide it down and kind of align it, try to align it with the balance on the other side, turn it back so that the open end they're both facing up, okay? Now you have your balances set in the right location. And here's your window sash. There are the feet, what we call feet, or the little pins, tilt pins on your window sash. You want to set the sash back in one side at a time at 90 degrees, and they'll fall in. And when you rotate the window, it turns that grommet and it releases the pressure on your balances so that your window slides up and down. Now, with that being said, they don't have to be perfect. These windows are indestructible, they're lifetime warranted. When you set the window in at 90, if one is a little bit taller than the other, and as you're tilting it back in and it doesn't look like it's going to line up, just force it firmly and it'll realign itself, and then shut it and lock it. Now, if you're still having a problem with your window, please feel free to call Energy Pro. We'll send Carl out, our service manager, and he'll take care of your window and make sure it's locked and secure.